Going live here. I'm doing a bit of a different setup today. I'm going to see if this is actually going to work or give me grief, and I'm hoping it'll work. It seems to be working so far. Okay, I think we're all good. We're working so far. Sorry for the delay. Uh, Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jeremy Malloy, and I am the producer and director of Capo, which is a feature film that is currently in development. And if you're tuning in for the first time, basically what I'm doing here is I've been doing a live video series where it gives me a chance to go over a bit of the behind the scenes of this feature film. So, going over the foundation of what brought us to today, but then also like all the things I'm doing on a day to day and week to week basis, people can get an insight into because we want to give people that transparency, and especially for those who are looking to get involved in the film. This is a way for them to learn about the project in a really just straightforward way. I'll break down topics on each live. So this is sort of a continuation from one of the recent lives we did, which was about audience, like so who the film was actually for. So if you haven't watched that, you can sort of go through our backlog and you'll be able to find that pretty easily. But this is essentially what the marketing strategy for this film is. So like any sort of film or even a product for that matter, you got to have a sense of how you're going to get it out there, and how you're going to get it in front of the right people. And film is no different, but there are different ways of doing it, and there are different approaches for it. So, if I may, uh, so this is just going over a bit about the unique competitive advantage. I spoke a little bit about this last time when I was talking about the audience, but this is a really good lead in to the marketing strategy and how we're going to approach that. So, like we said last time, there's this being an original story. There's a really compelling blend of interesting and really deep characters. So I say it to just about everyone I speak about the project to. It's it's a very character driven piece. So the emotions and the relationships between the characters is what makes this film a really special film. It's a modern story that touches on universal themes of purpose and morality. So this is something I was talking about yesterday. I see this film as a way to challenge people and challenge this idea of uh, having this crisis of meaning that's so prevalent. So it's a topic that's very dear to me, and I think to a lot of people in my age bracket as well, and anyone who has children in my age bracket would be very close to this theme. So that's why it's very provoking. That third point really talks to genre. So it's we sit in that psychological crime drama genre, and you flick on uh, whatever your favorite video streaming platform is, you're generally going to see something in that genre. So this fits very nicely into that space. There's a low private investment component. So this is something I'll go on when I talk more about the finances of this film, but this is something that makes it attractive from an investor point of view. And we're going to talk more about this, but as far as audience, there's a subgenre of musical lovers. So Alexander, the main character, is a pianist, and his arc of pursuing that passion is central to the story. So people who are classical musical lovers, especially those who play an instrument, will really resonate with that story arc. So that really brings us to the marketing strategy, and we can see my mic a bit more. Uh, and there's four pillars to the marketing strategy, which I'm going to talk over. So the first pillar is PR. So this is really when it comes down to that campaign. It's already started. So that campaign is like, for example, what I'm doing now is getting the word out there. and presenting it to people. So the PR campaign is a continuation from development into pre-production, into production, into post-production, and so forth. So it's an ongoing journey, and there's so many milestones along the way which are critical to allow it to be known. So just in the early stages now, as we're still financing the film, this is a really ripe opportunity, as I'm doing right now through this live, to get the story out there and get people an understanding, allow people to understand what the commercial opportunity is. So that's where the PR campaign comes into. Once we are financed, we're actually going to engage a professional PR agency. It's based here in Perth, and what it's going to allow, it's sort of allowing us to, share that burden of what that PR campaign is going to be and put it in the hands of professionals who specialize in film and entertainment. So that's that central pillar there. Um, Going on from that, and this is a continuation of the PR side of things, but more that the digital side of it, and that's our social presence. So what I mean by that is that's generally our social media presence, and what is at the heart of that is a website which is currently being built, and what that will be is a central hub for anyone who wants to learn about the film. So besides it just being, this live stream I'm doing, there's going to be all the relevant documents and information that will give, whether it's investors or whether it's people who are looking to learn about the film before it's coming out. That's going to be our central point. But beyond that is taking advantage of the social media out there, or of everyone involved in the film. So that includes myself. It includes our executive producer. It includes anyone else who's going to, at an executive level, come on board. But also critically as well, when we're casting people, that's going to be a chance to leverage whatever audience that they've built up from a personal side of things. And it just slowly, building upon the foundation that we already have of an audience, for, bringing in essentially a community of people who are involved in the film. Their network becomes involved in this project, which I find just like really exciting, because anyone tuning in and those watching and things like that, who are friends of mine, know what I'm doing, and I see people day to day, week to week, and they'll ask me how the film is. So they're you know at whatever level, they're at very least emotionally what's the word, emotionally invested in the project. So I get a real kick out of that. But that's just not going to be me. Like anyone else who comes on board in this film, naturally, they're going to bring their own network of people who are going to be supporting them along the way. So it's this, um, yeah, it's expanding network of people that we're going to be. So that's really exciting. On top of that, which I don't want to go too deep on this one, but part of our strategy, both for the quality of the film, but then also the commercial success of the film, is to cast an actor or an actress. In this case, it's going to be an actor. So cast an actor who has some name recognition. That's something I'll go more into on another live, but where that's going to play really well is essentially into this pillar here. It also, plays into other areas of the film from a strategic point of view. But at the very least, what's that going to do is it's going to bring a pre-existing audience beyond the genre audience and the subgenre audience that we've already spoken about and identified. But it's going to bring in another audience that's a follower of that particular actor. So again, I'll talk more on another live about that. So moving on to the next pillar, is film festivals. So I want to. This is actually really important, and is, I think, surprising to a lot of people that will be, perhaps outside of the industry, but where film festivals come into play is not only the professional recognition that we receive from being just uh, having an admittance into a film festival, but why we want to be playing it, film festivals, especially ones that carry some prestige, is that this is where we'll be presenting it to sales agents globally, so in different regions of the world. So this is allowing us to be presenting it to the right people that's going to sell it into the regions outside of Australia. So that's why festivals is a really critical part of the strategy. And then from there, just the audience segment of the marketing strategy. And this is where we're talking about, especially that subgenre of classical musical lovers. So, what we'll be doing is engaging with musically inclined and related organizations, both here in Perth and then in the, other cities in Australia as well. And essentially, why we're doing that is we're going to be reaching essentially like a pre-qualified audience who resonate with the subject matter of that genre. And what we found is that subgenre, carries people who have a real deep passion, which, not a surprise, people who are passionate about music, um, but also a very loyal following as well. So that's where that comes into. So they're the four pillars of our marketing strategy. And I'm going to close it off there. So thanks for tuning in. A bit of a late one today. So instead of winding down with a bit of TV, you perhaps got to wind down by watching this live. So I hope you enjoyed it. As I say on the other lives, feel free to keep watching future lives. And then if you've missed some of them, you're welcome to watch back. If you're watching this and you know of someone that may be interested in getting involved in this film, what I recommend you do is just honestly show them either this video or some of our other videos just to give them a sense and allow them to sort of immerse themselves in the content that we've been talking about. But on that note, we'll end it there. I hope, well, wherever you're watching from, if you're in Perth, have a good night. And if you're somewhere else, have a good day. And I'll see you next time.